Hello, everyone, and welcome to Henry Ford College on the campus of Henry Ford in Dearborn, Michigan. My name is Jeffrey Lowe, along with Leland Stein, and today's contest is the Henry Ford College Hawks and the Oakland Community College Raiders. And Leland, tell us about the Raiders.
Well, of course, they're led by a person who's a legend in Detroit, Antoine Joubert, going into his 13th season as the head coach. They're 5-3. They played the fewest games of any team in the MCCAA. So we're not sure what we're going to get here, Jeff, 5-3. But Coach Joubert before the game sounds like he's not worried about that record. He's more concerned about the conference. And sitting in conference, they're 2-1. So they're in a good position now. 2-1 puts them up in the top 4 in the eastern portion of the MCCAA.
The Raiders are in the green, and
they'll try to open it back up for the fans.
But we're glad to bring it to you right here on the live stream on the Henry Ford streaming network. A little stoppage in the clock, and we're back to action. Short jumper from free throw extension, no good. Oakland gets the rebound, three-point shot attempt off the rim, and Carrington grabs the rebound. This Henry Ford team, and that was definitely a traveler. Watch out, a little push off there, and that's home court advantage. When you have a little shove, the travel was on Oakland.
Yeah, before the start of the season, Henry Ford College was preseason number 10 ranked in the National Junior College Athletic Association, the overall polling, and they're still sitting right around 11 right now. So that ranking appears to be where they are.
Nice block shot that time by OCC's number 3, and that was Jonathan Amorai.
Yeah, Sergio Stephen getting his first start here. Henry Ford College has at least 3 players out, Jeff. They're missing 2 starters, Machina and Curtis Jackson.
Yeah, but the man at the line, who's now back in the lineup, and that's Gary Solomon. You know, he was out for a few games. And right now, all these colleges are getting geared up and for the run into the league season, which gets them ready and headed towards March. And you know what's happening in March? Madness. Great shot that time from the outside. That's Jonathan Amorai. Amorai is establishing himself as the shooter. Mac Mansell inside has that one blocked. And let me run over these starters for you shortly. Raiders with the rebound. Left-hand shot attempt is good.
Rashawn Cowan with the putback and the and-one, giving the visitors a glaring 7-1 lead here early in the game, but there's a long way to go, as we all know.
Cowans couldn't complete the free throw, and the Hawks quickly down the floor the other way. Solomon with the outside shot off the front of the rim, and Omari is called for the foul off the back as Gary Solomon went up to get the rebound. You got Stevens, Mansell, Solomon, McCaskill, and Whitehead in the starting lineup for your Hawks. Nice move inside. Very impressive by McCaskill.
McCaskill was preseason All-American this year. out of all the Henry Ford players, he's on the second team. But he's not even leading his team in scoring, Jeff. He's second in scoring at 13 points a game, while Solomon has stepped up and is leading his team in scoring at 17 points a game.
Nice move right there on baseline as number 4, Blake Banks. McCaskill, free throw extension is good.
Yeah, they'll need a big game out of McCaskill here today because Coach Joe Bear definitely has his guys ready. You know, his local game, basically Oakland and Henry Ford College.
But these are your tough games. You know, these are like neighborhood battles.
Exactly. And you know these guys been playing against each other since they probably was about 10 years old.
That's Cowan on the last shot for Oakland. And off the foot, Solomon just cruising down. Good heads-up play by the Oakland defender.
Yeah, Solomon got a little lackadaisical there. And
not a little. He went full court lackadaisical on that one. 13-5 your score if you're just joining us here in the first half. And McCaskill going strong to the basket.
They're playing some big boy basketball right there, and that's exactly what they need.
And
from
that's
him.
Exactly how big boys need to finish around the basket. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, McCaskill actually, you know, he's leading the team in field goal percentage. He's shooting 60% from the floor, and he's second in rebounding, Jeff, at 6.2 a game. And I think he's leading the conference in block shots. About 17 blocks. So he's having a good all-around season.
Misses the free throw. And here come the Raiders back the other way, quickly down the floor. And if you ever saw head coach Antoine Jobert for the Raiders play, they're exactly what he was in high school. Up and down the floor and to the basket scorer. And he explained it that way as we talked to him earlier before the game. It's just like, hey, let's get up and down the floor and run, guys, and play.
Well, you know, since Curtis Jackson is going to have that surgery now, I think it's safe to say because Coach said it. And so they'll always have that hole at their point guard position. But Solomon has stepped in extremely well, averaging about 4 assists a game. But the turnovers is where, you know, every now and then he gets a little turnover bug happening. But he has been the glue to this team, no doubt.
Kendall Perkins on the last shot by Oakland. And a nice three-point shot from the outside, number 15. That's Daniel Autry. And Autry making it happen for the Hawks right there. And the Hawks need to take a timeout to regroup. 18-10 your score in favor of Oakland Community College. And, you know, one thing Coach has to do with his Hawks is to make sure they limit the turnovers, especially the lackadaisical turnovers and turnovers that's just not acceptable, especially with an important game like you have this evening, in a league game, you know.
Well, turnovers is always going to be your panacea.
Yeah.
You know, that's the monkey on your back of all coaches. I mean, you practice, you go through fundamentals, you do everything right, but when you get in the game, the other team's defense and a bunch of other factors is always going to leave the door open for the
I don't look at that as any excuse, though, if you're prepared and you come into the game.
But turnovers are part of the game. But you just
they are part of the game. That's right. But turnovers lead to losses.
Exactly.
And you have to limit them. Outside shot attempt bounces around on the rim. That man, again, McCaskill with the rebound. Your officials for the day, Lawrence Miller, Nick Meyer, and Sean Dinkfeld. And that's McCaskill in the basket. They're leaning on McCaskill. And that's what you're supposed to do when you have an All-American. Hawks up the floor, and watch out.
Autry
Fight for the ball, and
it's
gonna go out of bounds and over to Oakland.
Yeah, Autry, the play before that, his first shot, he sunk a three-pointer. He's actually second on the team in three-pointers made. He's made 35 overall. The leader on the team in three-pointers.
14:05 here in the
Brandon
first
Machina.
half.
Who sit this one out, Jeff?
Yeah.
So, Autry, we're going to need those threes from them.
Mac Mansell with the rebound. Looks, drives, left hand. The left hand scoop shot was short. And here go the Raiders again with the run. And out quickly, the Raiders with the bunny.
Boy, that kid, Rashad Coward.
I got to get
from
this
Oakland.
language down for
Woo!
this hip language for this new generation.
He's out there playing.
Mac Mansell going hard to the basket on the baseline again. Good defense. And again, we can consider that a turnover almost, and they converting them into buckets. Short on the jumper, drawing nothing but iron. 22-12 your score in favor of Oakland. Looked like he almost carried that one, no whistle. Inside, nice block that time by Autry.
The Cass Tech graduate.
Good ball movement. Three-point shot is good.
Yeah, Jeff Devlin, who just entered the game a minute or so ago. In the last few games here, he's averaged 14 points a game in Curtis Jackson's absence and trying to pick up that slack. Coach Shepard said he's looking for somebody to pick up that slack at them point guard, and Devlin has really come through for him recently.
And last shot attempt by Oakland was Rashawn Graham, and this shot attempt is Clifford Barrow. And here comes Mac Mansell down the middle, and to the basket with some authority is number 11, Khalil Whitehead, with the slam dunk for the Hawks. Almost a travel, yes, it is a travel. As the Hawks are trying to soar their way back into this one, finding themselves down by a score of 25-17.
Well, you could, Henry Ford started out a little slow and a little sluggish, and and there's a reason too. Coach Shepard said they weren't even allowed to practice for 10 days. So, and they haven't played a game in almost 2 weeks. So they can knock some of that rust off, and let's see if they can get this thing flowing again.
Solomon with the shot attempt, drawing nothing but iron. And high and out of bounds and over to Oakland. The MCCAA men's basketball standings finds Macomb Community College in the number 1 spot, 3-0 record, and Henry Ford at number 2, and Oakland at number 3. So we're at the very top, as you know. Cream always rises, but
that's the Eastern Conference.
Well, Eastern Conference
of the
division.
Michigan Community College Athletic Association.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, here it is right here. I'm looking at it. And Eastern Conference, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't see the bottom down there. Thank you very much for allowing me to let me know that. Yeah. But you know what? Hey, the Eastern Conference still.
The guys say the cream is the best conference in Michigan Community College Athletic.
Absolutely.
And they have 3 or 4 teams there. Macomb, who is 13-1, is nationally ranked. Henry Ford, 11-3. Mott, 14-1. They lost their first game last week. They were rated number 1 in the National Junior College Athletic Association.
Right. But, when you turn to January, when you turn to this time of the year,
all in the same Eastern Conference.
But you're looking at the conference record. I'm seeing Macomb at 3-0, and Henry Ford at 2-0,
Right.
and Oakland at 2-1. But overall, it's good. But right now, the conference is the most important thing because that's going to get you ready for March and the madness that's about to come, folks. On all levels of basketball throughout this great country of ours, schools are preparing for March Madness. And I know you say, well, it's just January, but we're going hard into it because you got to get ready. And this is where you get ready for that time of year in your league.
That's right, Jeff. And Coach Shepard, you know, he's a 3-time MCC AA Coach of the Year, and he's only been at Henry Ford 5 years. Last year, he led this team to his first ever NJ tournament win. So they're expecting to go even deeper this year.
Yeah, well, Coach Shepard finds himself down by a deficit of 25-17 to Oakland Community College. And this is where you got to coach your kids up to get back into this one because Oakland has come to play, guys.
Yeah, they definitely have. Well, it got a little nasty out there. The referees let it go, but Ricardo Colvin kind of threw a little elbow there in plain view. He's lucky he didn't get a check for that. But cooler heads prevail. Joe Bear is still yelling at the referee. He's not too happy with that. Not at all.
Oakland going to the boards hard, but quickly down the floor. And Solomon in the paint. May have been in there, might have been 3 seconds. He was in there a long time.
Solomon has been, I'm sure he's Coach Shepard's biggest surprise this year. He's a big kid, he's 6'5". They got him playing point guard or any kind of guard, and he's just doing a magnificent job for Henry Ford so far through their first 14 games. Leading the team in scoring at 17 points a game. He's the leading rebounder at almost 7 a game. He's second in assists. After Jackson's 7 a game, he's 5 a game, Jeff. So he's putting together a beautiful little stat line, quiet as it's kept.
Solomon makes both free throws, and Oakland quickly down the floor the other way. 25-19 your score. Short jumper, no good. Right inside the three-point line, I should say. Not a short jumper. Got 10 minutes here remaining in the first half. Pena with the dish.
Beautiful pass.
Yes. And finding Muhammad Zorai as the player underneath the basket. 27-19 your score. Hawks have not had the lead at all in this first half. Solomon hard to the basket and couldn't get that one to go.
Point blank range there.
In the open floor. Nice jump shot, good position. Solomon going hard underneath, fighting, and still coming up empty.
Yeah, that's the second bunny he's missed. But he's hustling in there. He's rebounding, getting second chances. You can't get mad at him.
That's going to be an illegal pick, an offensive foul on Muhammad Zorai. .903 remaining here in the first half of play. Henry Ford College Hawk basketball. Mac Mansell going to the basket. And the only guy that's been able to make some points around the basket is McCaskill. He's been the most effective rebounder and putting back some shots for the Hawks. Zore jump hook over McCaskill. 29-21. Solomon to the basket. McCaskill there to clean it up.
Oh, Renaissance. Out here giving his team what he needed, trying to keep his team in this game here. McCaskill, I don't have a stat sheet in front of him, but my guess, Jeff, is he has at least 10 points. 10 out of those 23 points that Henry Ford College has scored so far in the first half.
Hawks walking it up the floor, getting it across the timeline. Taking it easy right now. Oh, and it's stolen away. And the dunk. And Solomon and Shepard having some words with one another. Solomon hard to the basket. Misses again. The Raiders in the open floor, finishing. 31-23, 7:26 here in the first half. McCaskill going hard. That foul was committed on the floor before the basket. Three-point shot attempt is no good. The Raiders with a 10-point lead here at the 7:03 mark in the first half. Three-point shot is good.
Well, I tell you, Joe Bear said, hey, don't sleep on us before the game, Jeff. He said, we're only 5-3. I don't even know what our record is, but don't sleep on us.
And Perkins with that last shot, and this time with the rebound, and quickly down the floor the other way. Perkins. Kendall Perkins streaking down the floor. He just said, I'll take it. Want to let you also know that Henry Ford's future driven. I'd like to welcome you to the broadcast of Hawks basketball on the Henry Ford Hawks streaming network. My name is Jeff Lowe, along with Leland Stein, and hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And I know this pandemic has really stressed out a lot of programs all over the country, and is doing so on each level, from Division I all the way to Division II, and all the way to community colleges and colleges just like Henry Ford.
It's unfortunate because right during the holidays, people are just having pandemic fatigue. I mean, I could see it. I mean, I try to follow the rules no matter what, but people are just tired of it, tired of being home. And when the holidays came, Thanksgiving and Christmas, everybody exploded. And as a result, coming back, schools have closed. Michigan postponed 2 games. Henry Ford College has had 3 postponements. It's been tough. I feel sorry for the kids, man. All we did was have to play basketball, but these guys, it's a whole nother ball game.
Yes, it is.
This thing is serious and it's real, and it's not going nowhere, and we all have to take it serious. But we still want to do everything we can to let the kids play.
And fortunately, the state of Michigan numbers are going down, fortunately, with the recent look at the numbers, and that was updated just this week, that the pandemic numbers in Michigan are going down. They're going in the right direction, and hopefully we can get control of this thing. Short jumper is no good by Oakland. Perkins quickly down the floor. Good defense that time, and good hustle all around by Israel Williams. Nice dime.
Beautiful play.
That was Blake Banks with the dime behind the back. 40-23 your
Banks
score.
Also had that steal that he took in that broke the momentum.
Reverse layup. That one looked pretty good. Khalil Whitehead on the baseline move.
It seemed like just a minute ago they were within 7 points. Now they're down by 15 again with 5 minutes left. This Oakland team is pretty serious here. They come to play today. They're getting all the 50-50 balls, Jeff.
Yeah, there for the
I don't know what's
putback
happening here.
is Jonathan Morai, 42-25. And you're right about that. The 50-50 balls on the offensive end are going to the offensive team. Outside shot again, no good. Oakland quickly up the floor. Morai with the layup, and wow. And that one's going to be out of bounds and over to Henry Ford. Some substitutions coming in the game. Ricardo Coven, number 10 for Henry Ford.
Well, I know Whitehead has got to be a little rusty. He missed about 3 games himself for whatever, whatever the reasons were, which they didn't disclose. And, then he has to sit out almost 2 weeks. So he's a little rusty, trying to get his game back in order.
Good drive to the basket. And here come the Hawks. That was Devlin, Keyshawn Devlin on the last bucket. 42-27, 4:16 and counting here in the first half. Hawks into a zone, and Raiders seem to handle the zone pretty good. But they come up empty. Devlin. That's going to be an offensive foul. No, I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be an offensive foul, but it's not.
Set.
Yeah. Daniel
that was
Archery.
A good drive by Archery. It's good to see him put it on the floor because, he likes that three-point shot. He's second on the team in three-pointers made with 36. So, change that game up to keep the defense off balance. But one thing we can say about Oakland's defense, Jeff, man, Oakland, they done blocked about 5 shots. They done had about 3 or 4 steals. They're really aggressive on the defensive end today.
42-29, 3:52 here in the first half, late in the first half, if you're just joining us. We got another half to go, but the Hawks finding themselves challenged here in league play against Oakland. 3-point shot, in and out. Solomon to the basket, kicks it back out to Devlin. Devlin the shot attempt is no good.
Yeah, Devlin has just come off an amazing hot streak where he's shooting 54% from three-point land over his last few games. And he'll slow down a little bit today, but they're really going to need him.
Rashawn Cohen with the jump hook in the lane for Oakland. Solomon surveying, going to the basket, and it's called for the offensive foul.
Oh, that was a tough call, but kind of threw that arm out there. And you let the arm go, it always
how
gets you in
tough is
trouble.
it if you can see it from up here, man?
But it wasn't that blatant.
Well, it wasn't, but it was very visible.
It didn't get an advantage from what he did. One thing you got to like about Oakland, too, is that their team is cheering on each other. When they're on defense, the bench is in unison hollering, defense, defense. And I kind of like that.
Well,
when teams do that for each other.
Absolutely. And when you got a former All-American and University of Michigan standout as coach in Antoine Jobert, leading the way for Oakland. So, you know what? the guys on the bench better be into the game because at any point you might get into the game.
That's right.
You better be ready.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe that it's been that long. Coach Joe Bear has been over at Oakland 13 years now, Jeff.
Yeah, he's been hanging in there. 239 and counting.
While Coach Shepard has put in an amazing 5 years here at Henry Ford College.
Nice turnaround jumper, no good, drawing nothing but iron. Roshan Cohen on the miss there for Oakland. Solomon with another turnover. That turns into buckets for Oakland. And that will be categorized as a big turnover because that takes it to 46-29 with only 2:04 remaining here in the quarter. McCaskill trying to make up for some of the mistakes with that last three-point shot.
Even with the three-pointer, they still down by 14.
Banks from outside. McCaskill, baseline jumper, rolls in and out. And Oakland again. Woo! Watch out. Darren Banks getting hot. 52-32 your score. Minute 12.
Oakland is on fire from three-point range. They've made at least 3 in a row. That's 9 points.
Yeah, and it must be.
The score reflects it too. A 20-point lead.
It must be a cover on the basket for Henry Ford because nothing seems to be going down. It's either drawing in front of the iron or going in and rolling out.
Well, you know, one thing too, Henry Ford Hawks leading three-point shooter, Brandon Matrina, averaging 10 points a game, shooting 44% from three, is out today. So, you know, with a team like Oakland, as hot as they are from three, it's going to be hard to match them when your top scorer from three-point land is not participating today.
Solomon called for the foul, and he'll have to come and sit here with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Not a good foul there by Solomon. Solomon's had a rough game today.
Yeah.
Between the turnovers and the fouls, it's making it difficult to maintain a consistency in this game. Coach Shepard is definitely feeling it today.
Well, no matter, he's going to ride Solomon. He needs him. Solomon is their leading scorer. With Jackson going out, McCaskill, McCaskill and
well, anytime you're one of the top teams in the
McCaskill
league,
and Whitehead both missing games for various reasons. Solomon has been the glue. He's played in almost every game except for one.
Good shot that time by Mohamed Zorai. Again, making his presence felt in the paint. 19 seconds on the shot clock, 20 seconds remaining in the first half. And another offensive foul as Sergio Stevens went to the basket hard, but picks up an offensive foul.
I think this is Sergio's first start, and he hasn't played very much this year, but with Matrina out and Jackson out and Mack out, has opened the door for him. So let's see if he can give him a little something here.
Nice drive to the basket. McCaskill with the last shot attempt of the half. No good. It's been a rough first half for your Hawks, ladies and gentlemen. 54-32. And this Oakland Raiders team, the Oakland Raiders, this Oakland Raiders team has come to play in this league play. And, you know, when you're sitting on top of your division or when you're in the top tier of your division, all these games are very, very important, and so important that these are the kind of games you're going to get, and your team just has to overcome what you're faced with.
Yeah, Henry Ford has it's tough. It's got to be, Jeff. You play. There's something said about the sharpness, and especially when Coach Shepard said they couldn't even practice, then you knew the possibility for them coming out a little stiff was real, and it is real. Even the defense is not to the level which they've shown us in all the games we watched. They done put a 54 spot looking at 100. They matched that. They done scored 108 points on this team.
Well, we'll see. It's halftime, folks. It's halftime scores 54-32. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. Hang on. Second half is on your way. Welcome back to Henry Ford College in Dearborn, Michigan, and we're almost set to start the second half. And Leland Stein, let's talk about that first half because the Hawks have found themselves in an uphill battle to get back into this one.
Yeah, uphill battle is not the word. Down 22 points. You can look at every marker they're getting dominated. Not only, this Oakland Raiders shot 55.8% from the field and 46% from three. Now check this out. Henry Ford College shot 33% from the field versus 55%. Then they shot 25% from three. Now Henry Ford has always been a three-leaning team. They're one of the leading teams in the conference in the MCCAA in three-pointers. And today they're getting creamed. I might as well call it. But here's the statistic that hurts the worst. They're getting out-rebounded 24-18, but Oakland has 26 points in the paint versus Henry Ford College only 14. That's a 12-point swing. The Raiders, 19 points off the bench versus 8. Another 10-point swing. There's your 20-point margin right there, Jeff.
And what is the turnover margin there?
The turnovers surprisingly aren't been as problematic as we thought. Henry Ford College only has 4, and Oakland 3 turnovers for the first half.
Well, let's see how Henry Ford plays it, and let's see how Oakland plays it. And they're going to play it just like they played it in the first half. 3-point shot right off the start by number 3 for Oakland Community College.
I guess Coach Joe Barrow was giving him the look, said, shoot it,
yeah,
shoot it.
Omari, he shot it. 57-32 your score. Solomon on the wing and a rough first half. Solomon to the basket. Got away with a travel there maybe in between 3 Raiders. But comes away with the foul. And will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, Solomon's having a rough game today shooting-wise. He's only 1 for 5, 0 for 1 from the three-point land, but he's been good at the free throw line, shooting 3 out of 4.
Solomon makes his first shot in the second half and makes the second.
This team, they really need him. And he's going to get a fire lit under him if this team stands any chance to come back and win this game.
Amori again from three-point land. Watch out. Amori at the top of the key. And Seal looking for some help. And another foul. Solomon on the wing, battling on the wing, and he draws the foul as Rashawn Cohen.
You know, Henry Ford College has simply played excellent basketball. They've won 9 out of their last 10 games after starting the season with 2 wins and then losing 2 consecutive games. You know, some tough games they lost.
McCaskill on the foul right there. McCaskill in the first half pretty much carried the Hawks with his hustle plays. Outside shot, no good. Mac Bensil behind the back and in the open floor. McCaskill trying to go up and under and was fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, so far today, McCaskill looked like He was the only player that was awoke in the first half for the Hawks.
Well, how do you change the flow of the game? This is how you kind of do it. You stop this Oakland team from getting up and down the floor like they've been doing.
Well, also, Henry Ford's going to tighten up that defense, too, and give us a little better effort blocking out. Excellent basketball there. Beautiful ball movement. That's the way you play the game.
Mohamed Zoré on the shot, and going to the basket hard for Henry Ford is Khalil Whitehead. So one thing that the Hawks have been doing in the second half, early in the second half, is getting to the free throw line. 3 times in a row they've gone to the basket, and 3 times in a row they have gone to the free throw line. And when you do this, and when you slow up the play of a team like Oakland, especially a team that's used to getting up and down the floor and playing aggressive on defense and shooting threes, it kind of shifts the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, Oakland right now, they're playing lights out. Anytime you get a team that's shooting almost 50% from three-point land and close to 60% field goal percentage, that's a long day.
A good steal by Mansell there. That's the kind of defense you got to have. McCaskill. And that's how you turn a turnover into points.
With the floater. And I see Coach Shepard done dialed up a little full court trap. He's got to do something to change the way this game is going.
Zoré from outside, no good. Mohamed Zoré with the shot. Mansell frustrated about that. And it looks like it's going to go off the hands of one of the Oakland players. Both teams are debating for the ball here. And it's going to be the Hawks' ball underneath their basket. McCaskill, free throw extension. Solomon for 3. Solomon drawing nothing but iron, but the Hawks get it back, and the Hawks turn it over. Amore to the basket and gets that one to go.
Well, that time Sergio makes the turnover, but he just stood there. He didn't take off and get back on defense. But you can't get mad at the young man. He's probably the 3rd or 4th point guard, and it's forced to start because of injuries and other things that was happening to this team right now.
Well, sometimes you might have to sit a guy down to let him take a look at the game so he can understand the flow of the game. McCaskill, a little jump hook, no good.
Comes up a little short.
And when you understand the flow after taking a look at it, you might come in and make better decisions. And it's going to be a timeout for Henry Ford to talk it over, which is a good timeout. Solomon has calmed down a great deal, and that's a good sign for the Hawks. But now you got to get that flow back. 64-38 your score, 16-33 here in the second half of play. I'm Jeff Lowe along with Leland Stein, and this is Henry Ford College Hawk basketball and the Henry Ford College streaming network. And a good.
With 16 minutes left, it's not impossible, but it's going to be a long hill to traverse for the Hawks, man. Henry Ford College has played excellent basketball all year. Today they just ran into a buzzsaw.
Man-to-man defense being applied by the Hawks, and Mac Mansell thought he tied him up, and I thought he tied him up also. He got a little piece of his arm on that one.
A very little piece.
Coach Shepard doesn't agree, but yeah, very little piece of the arm. I thought he had tied him up on that and forced the jump ball situation.
He did play good defense. About time. That's what we're looking for. Henry Ford has shown us that they're very capable defensively.
Zorre with the jump hook over McCaskill, and Mansell quickly down the other way. And who's there to clean it up? McCaskill.
McCaskill with some authority.
Some full court pressure being applied. Good strategy by Coach Shepard. Outside shot is good. And that's Dominic Thomas with the outside shot. And Solomon will go to the line again here in the second half.
When we first looked at Oakland, the Raiders, and you see their record at 5-3, they played the less games of anybody in the MCCAA. So we wasn't sure what we was going to get here. But Coach Joe Barry before the game sounded like he wasn't worried at all, was he? He was like, no, it's conference, we ready. And they've actually come out here and proved his prognostication real.
Timeout by the Hawks on the baseline. Solomon could not get the ball in. That was a quick timeout. 15-42, 68-40 your score. And the Hawks trying to battle their way back into this one in this interleague action with the Hawks and the Raiders of Oakland Community College.
Well, as a coach, this is tough. I mean, you got to keep your team. What do you tell your team right now? How do you get them lit up enough so that they can put together a run to try to get themselves back in this game? It's got to start with defense, and that's why he's went into that trap, which is a good idea. It's disrupted the flow of Oakland, and maybe we should have did it earlier, but who knows? It's easy we can sit here and say that now, but he knew he had to come up with something. So let's just see if the trap can get them some fast break points, and see if they can get themselves back in this game. But it's got to start with defense, though. No other way.
Autry.
Cass Tech in the house.
Autry with a big three right there. And quickly, the defense being applied and a turnover forced by Mansell. And here goes
the trap is coming through.
The Hawks.
Devlin.
McCaskill there to clean it up. And this is exactly how you get back in the ball game right here. Mansell, step back, thought about the three. Solomon looking across court, inside to McCaskill, and it's good.
All right.
And that stretch right there, that was a good stretch of ball right there. Good stretch of strategy.
Yeah, that was a good stretch there, but it all happened because of the defensive intensity got picked up a notch, and they was able to collect a couple turnovers and get some fast break points and try to weasel their way back into this contest. There's enough time now. There's 15 minutes left. It's not over.
And the full court pressure has been very effective.
It has been. But unfortunately, when you go to the trap, now Coach Joe Bear is sitting there. They're thinking up a game plan to figure out a way to negate the trap. So the trap usually don't last much. It's good when you spring it. So we'll see.
Well, normally when you break traps, they turn into layups.
They do.
And we'll see how Coach Joe Bear and the Oakland team plays this one, because the full court pressure is being applied again. Coach Shepard is going to stick with it.
They ran a play here. They got a man in the middle. Well, there we go.
And forces another turnover. Mansell to the basket. And these turnovers are turning into points.
It's the panacea for everything when it comes to basketball.
And that's what I just said. Once the press is broken, they turn into layups, but quickly back the other way are the Hawks, and they get a layup. 70-49, your score. Outside shot, bounces around and bounces out. Solomon with the board, Devlin with the layup.
The River Ruins product getting to the basket. He's been very, very exceptional in the last couple of games, but he slowed down a little bit today. We need him to get going.
Solomon with the rebound, but it was McCaskill with the defense on the other end, and another layup by the Hawks. And this is how you claw your way back into this.
Claw your way.
Yes.
Tooth and nail, claw your way back into the game.
13-47, 70-55 your score. And the Hawks have turned this momentum around by turning it up on the defensive end.
Yeah, and we're down by 15, 13 minutes left. A long way to go. This is not over. Now, you know Henry Ford has really Henry Ford College has had a really rough day shooting the three. But just as easily as you miss them, they can get hot. They're going to need something good to have perform on offense too, as well as the defense. If they can string together and get a couple threes to drop, get themselves back in this game. Because they're going to live and die by the three.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to shoot it. But unfortunately for them, like I said earlier, they're missing Brandon Mistrina, who's their leading three-point shooter, shooting 44% for the year. Has 37 overall threes, the top on the team. And that's a big loss. It's a big loss for him.
And not only on top of that, with everything that's going on with the pandemic, and also, I like to wish everybody a happy Martin Luther King holiday.
And Mack is also missing, Tyler Mack, who's the second leading three-point shooter, field goal-wise, shooting 35% from three. So you're looking at your two best three-point shooters are out today, and so it's going to have to come with defense.
And that's what's happening, because we forced another turnover, and Oakland gives it back to the Hawks. Devlin thought about the three, looking for a wingman, finding Autry, and Autry is the three from the outside.
We were just saying that Henry Ford College had to find somebody to augment this defensive stretch with a little offense.
Yeah, we got an explanation from the official. I didn't quite hear what he said. Okay, he mentioned that it was a flop involved, and that ball will go back to Oakland.
Oakland going to have to keep their eye on Amori, number 3, because every time he's open, he's finding that three. It's been going down.
Good job defensively by the Hawks.
But McCaskill came over there and got in the way of that attempt at the layup.
Autry from outside again.
A heat check. Not quite, though.
Shot clock was running down a little bit. He thought he might have to put it up. 12-38, 70-58 your score. Good defense being applied by the Hawks. Hawks are on the floor for the ball, and a jump ball is called into possession. Let's see. The possession goes over to the Hawks.
Defense will set you free.
And defense can turn this game around, and that's exactly how the Hawks have been applying it to the Raiders. This is one that you definitely had to claw yourself back into. And the Hawks, flying high in the number 2 spot in the Eastern Division, don't want this one to slip away from you. Devlin with the ball. Mac Vencil, Autry for 3, no good. Autry fighting for his own rebound, but committing the foul on the play. Omari on the floor. Autry called for the push.
Autry has probably sunk about 3 out of 5 threes today. He's missed his last couple. I'd like to see him take it to the basket, get fouled, get another feel, and then go back to your three-point shooting.
A little warning to the coach, Coach Shepard. Officials are trying to get control of this one. Offset fouls. Officials are trying to get a handle on this one and not let this one get out of hand. No, it's not out of control, but it can be, because all it takes is one thing to
it can be, but sometimes we officials, my friends can get in the way of a good game too.
Well, they're not in the way of this one. The only thing that's in the way is that Oakland lead right now. The Hawks clawing their way back in it, but that time, let one get away with the easy layup.
Nice left-hand shot. That's the way to do it. By putting that left up, even though he's a righty, he was able to protect the ball.
Whitehead getting fouled, and he will step to the line. It's 5 fouls on number 12 for Oakland. Rashawn Cowan, excuse me.
That's a big loss for them. Was that his 5th foul?
They said 5.
Yeah.
They said that was 5.
He's been tremendous on the boards all game.
So he'll have to come take a seat. 72-59. Whitehead at the line for his second shot. Misses his second. And the pressure is being applied on rebounds, and the turnover forced.
Hammer time, baby. Hammer time by McCaskill. Renaissance High School's finest. Renaissance High School's finest.
What I like about this, they fall back into a tight man-to-man after applying the full court zone pressure. Zorre with a jump hook, bounces around. Autry comes down with the rebound, and here we go. Autry.
It's important that we get a good shot here, and we didn't.
The 10:28 mark here in the second half. Going up hard, battle for the ball. Oakland comes away with it. And a nice deflection from behind by Whitehead. And they have battled their way back into this game. When you're 72-61, your score. Henry Ford has done an outstanding job getting back into range here. And like you said, they could get it done, and they're trying to right now.
Yeah, they was down about 30 points.
Yes.
With less than 6 minutes ago. But there's another three. Those things, them daggers.
Perkins with that last shot for Oakland. McCaskill fighting and battling and getting the rebound, and no basket. There's going to be a foul before the basket. An offensive foul on McCaskill. He's working hard.
Yeah, that's the kind of foul I like to see all day. He's hustling.
It's a good, hard-working foul.
But now here's what we call danger time. When a team finds themselves down by 30 points and they have to dig down deep in their bag of tricks and try to come up with ways to get themselves back in the game, which Henry Ford College has done, you tend to lose a little steam. There's always a point where you lose a little gas on them comebacks. The question is, can they sustain it? We shall see.
Sergio with the save off the rebound. Jump hook off the glass.
Excellent pass.
That was Whitehead. And
By
Oakland
Mansell.
and Antoine Jobert. He's steaming right now.
Yeah, he's looking at his guys like, hey, what are y'all doing out here?
74 to 63.
We have an 11-point game now.
9:09 here in the second half of play.
That's
and
right.
I must say, excellent coaching job by Shepherd, especially with that full court pressure being applied here in the second half and changing the momentum and getting them back in this contest.
Well, yeah, you know, I also think, without any empirical data, is that this team have to sit out almost 2 weeks and coming through the COVID protocols and postpone games, that they were a little rusty.
Well, that's not just this team. That's every every team.
Well, every team ain't had as much as they had.
Hey,
Okay.
it's
Not
been
3 postponed games in a row.
well. I'm just saying that it's affected every program in the country.
Well, not all of them not
So-
the same, though.
Yeah. Well, I know they're not all the same.
Okay, well, I'm talking about Henry Ford right now.
Oh, yeah, I understand. $74-63 and 9:03.
That's what they needed.
And
So
another-
it almost looks like a different team out there now with the intensity that was surely missing the whole first half.
that defensive intensity and turning it up on defense, but that's been the key right there. McCaskill has been doing some outstanding work in the paint. Mansell from outside, no good. McCaskill!
What a play. That's why you make All-American.
McCaskill is
That's
there.
why you're second-team All-American in the National Junior College Athletic Association.
There to clean it up.
Woo, boy, that's what I like to see. I like to see some floor burns, some knees knocking against wood. You got to get down there and go after that ball.
8:23 here in the second half, 74-65, and the official coming in to get face-to-face with Coach Shepherd.
What happened to McCaskill? Did he get hurt? He's not in the game.
Not in the game right now, but we have to move on. Let's go. Momentum is on the side of the Hawks. Sergio with the ball, looking to drive and pulls it back out. Mansell looking to go in the paint. Like it went off one of the Oakland players.
Mansell has been measured today. They're having to take on some point guard duties. he's done a good job. Considering, that's not really exactly what he is, but he's been measured and trying to keep himself under control.
Devlin back into the game. Devlin with a little jump shot. Couldn't get it to go. And this flow of the game has really changed. It's really changed in the favor of the Hawks.
Oh,
nice move, yes sir.
A little give and go right at the foul line. No recovery help. Easy layup.
Kendall Perkins. And the Raiders trying to keep this lead. 7:17 remaining in the second half here in this contest. Solomon's been struggling all game long. Amari to the basket, and he's fouled. Whew. This is a very exciting ball game headed down the stretch here. Amari at the free throw line.
But again, sustaining that level of intensity is tough. But if they want to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to do it.
McCaskill back into the game for the Hawks. Had to take a breather there. I know he was a bit wore out.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Might have had some trouble with his cramping in the calf muscle.
Down by 30 and you got to battle back and get within 10.
Looking inside to McCaskill. That's where we go. McCaskill. Good job defensively.
Beautiful play by the big fella.
Yes. Up quickly, but it's blocked by Solomon. Solomon getting back on defense that time.
Oh, man. Devlin. He's throwing up those threes. He's a little bit off today. But I guess if you're a shooter, you got to keep shooting. Because if you don't shoot, then you'll never get on. Now the game is starting to get into a different flow and a different rhythm here. You see it's coming back. It's hard to sustain that when you come back from 20 down, and then you got 6 minutes left. You feel like your legs feel like you got a monkey on your back.
They get heavy, yes. Definitely
get heavy. I done felt them heavy legs before. I'm sure you have too, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I'm a heavy guy.
Well, it don't matter how good a shape you're in. The intensity of the game over a period of time, it hurts.
Oh, yes, it does. It does make sure how good a shape you're in.
I'm saying it's still going to hurt, and it's going to be tough.
Solomon from outside, get that one to go. Solomon has made a couple of good plays going down the stretch here.
Well, he is the team's leading scorer, averaging 17 points a game. They're going to need every one of them right now if they're going to win this game.
From the start, he had a rough start, though, in this game.
Well, at the end of the half, he was 1 for 5. So, yeah, he wasn't really – his offense was kind of lacking there. Even though he did well at the free throw line, shooting 3 out of 4. $79-68, 6:02 remaining here in this contest. Now, the last 2 or 3 minutes, they've been stuck about where they are at a 9, 11-point game, and Henry Ford College hasn't been able to bust that bubble.
Mac Mensil recovering his own.
If they can come up with a bucket here, there'll be a 9-point game.
And Solomon called for the foul.
Now travel.
Pardon me. Thank you for correcting me. Called for the travel. 79-68. The Hawks looking for the double. Now into a zone. They keep doing a good job in mixing up the defenses and confusing the offense of Oakland. Mohamed Zohri at the line. and he will shoot 2 for Oakland.
He's 6'8", too. This kid is from Sterling Heights. No, he's not. He's from Troy, Michigan. He's coming off the bench. He did a good job for the Raiders, defensively and around the basket. And he sinks the free throws on top of the chair.
Yeah, that ends the short drought that the team has had. Mansell to the basket and called for the offensive foul. And on the defensive end, Zoré drew the foul.
Yeah, we were just talking about Muhammad Ben having an impact in this game, even though he came off the bench. But
Solomon will sit down, and Sergio Stevens in the game for Henry Ford. (81-68), 5:17 remaining. Oakland trying to break the press, does so. Zoré and Muhammad tried to get it to go, but there is that man again. McCaskill with the defense.
McCaskill has played an exceptional game today, all around. Good all-around game for him.
And his injury not really being that time it affected.
Way to go, Big Phillips. I mean, that's just take it right to the hoop. Use all that 6'8".
And he keeps reaching down to his leg a little bit. He's in a little bit of pain, and I'm talking about McCaskill. That calf is affecting him right now. But on that last block, he did an excellent job on getting up and defending it.
Well, we're sitting around 4 minutes here. We really need these free throws. Looking at a 15-point deficit when we had got it down at one point to 9, but it's back up to 15 because Oakland is not going away.
Well, you mean Henry Ford is not going away? Because
Oakland.
Yeah. I hope Oakland, they're in the lead right now, but Henry Ford is not going away. Absolutely.
And they've got their composure back.
And Whitehead committing the foul as Mohamed Zoré will go to the line and shoot 2.
This is just how Coach Joe Barry would like to see the game maintained. Hey, foul me. Put me on the line. We don't need a couple points. Slow the game down.
Yeah. And I'm sure Chris Shepard is enjoying Oakland miss these free throws as Zoré makes his second. And now Oakland applying a little pressure, which turns into points. Darren Banks. Solomon going to the basket. Whitehead with the finish. Shepard having a few words for the officials, and now the officials will huddle up and talk about it. .408 remaining, 86-71. And Henry Ford just, as I said earlier, clawing their way back into this one. And it's been a tough uphill battle for them.
It's been very tough, but it's always that way. That's why every coach do not want your team to get down by 20 or more and then have to dig and scratch and claw your way back into the game. It takes something out of you. And almost every team I've seen in the 30 years I've been doing this or covering basketball, it's hard to sustain it. And, you was worried a little bit about Henry Ford being able to sustain it, but now they've fallen a little asleep offensively, and Coach Jobert has measured his team, and they're playing way more methodically. This is going to be tough. The big fella in there, we can't allow that. Just can't give up the points that easy.
Mohamed Zoré with the easy bucket. 3:52, 88-71 your score. Now to the final 3 minutes of this one. Whitehead on the wing, looking to go to the basket and does. Khalil Whitehead. And now the pressure being applied. Good steal by Solomon inside to the big fella.
13-point game.
Still feeling the effects of that calf or that lower leg injury that got suffered earlier here in the second half, but he is battling through it. 88-75, 3:10 remaining. Shot clock down to 6. Zoré.
Good play by
Whitehead. That's right, with the block.
Oh!
Right at the buzzer, Whitehead gets the rebound.
Almost a steal there. Autry, they need this, and he comes through.
Autry with one of those breather shots right there. And Autry commits the foul.
Well, that's something we don't really want to try to play defense and play it out without fouling, because they're going to go to the free throw line, so it doesn't help you as much. I'd say we just play the defense to the best of the ability and try to do it without fouling.
It's a 10-point game.
Because they have enough time. It's a little bit 2.5 minutes. So it's not desperation time, but we just have to foul yet.
Kendall Perkins at the line, makes his first. Israel Williams checks in for Oakland. And Oakland trying to hang on to this one. '78. Mac Seal.
Oh, man. Seal,
couldn't get that one to go. Needed that big bucket right there.
That was a nice move by him, though. He wasn't out of control, just couldn't finish. A little sportsmanship, never bad. That happens. Both players hit the turf pretty hard and hit the hardwood, and they helped each other up. In today's game, you get beat up by your teammates, you help them up. Nobody wants to help up anybody.
Hey.
Leave them there.
Kendall Perkins makes his first free throw. 2:21 remaining here in the half.
Yeah, it's playing right into Coach Jobert's hands. Just keep me on the free throw line.
Well, it stops the clock also.
It stops the clock, but that's not good enough. If they score, we got to come up with some stops where they don't score. Oh, man.
It was off of Amari, as Autry and Amari were going for the rebound. And the Hawks will maintain possession. 2:11. 2:11 on the clock. Solomon to the basket. Good strong move by Gary Solomon. And that
Solomon
bucket
looked like he was sleepwalking a little bit in the first half.
That bucket was much
He's
needed.
picked it up.
Yes, that bucket was much needed though right there.
Every bucket is much needed.
Right, going down the stretch.
But
you're
even
absolutely
more
right.
important than scoring, they have to stop. You can't trade baskets and free throws. It's not going to happen. Oakland has lived on the free throw line the last 3 minutes here. So they're going to have to find a way, really try to, over this minute, I would say, let's not foul. Let's just go out there and play our best defense and try to see what happens from there. But they're running out of time, though.
Well, I think you have to commit fouls right now at the 2-minute mark here going down the stretch. Just to stop the clock. And it's just,
Not when you're in the bonus already.
Well, obviously both teams are in the bonus right now.
Yeah,
So
but it doesn't matter before being in the bonus. It's Oakland Raiders is the one that's we have to be concerned about, because the fact of the matter is they have to stop them from scoring to win this game. Like right there. Oh no.
and that's what you cannot do.
Well, that loses you games right there.
Well, you force the turnover on one end with the defense and then throw it away going back the other way. Can't rush it.
No, you can't rush it.
Good job by Whitehead on that baseline.
With the steal,
Right.
but his overzealousness trying to get that ball down the court, his partner wasn't really open.
Bennett 55.
Uh-oh, they got to get that Amori kid. They can't
And
let
count
him
it.
shoot.
Yeah, he was a spark early in the second half there. Solomon looking for help.
Oh, Caskill. That's
Caskill.
2 turnovers in a row.
Caskill needs that ball.
When you're coming back.
He needs that ball in the low post, not in the high post.
No.
Minute
Now it's time to
24.
foul.
Minute 24 here. I think sometimes, earlier in the contest, you might want to slow it down. That's how you slow down a running team. Put them at the line and see can they make some free throws.
They're making free throws.
They're making them. Right now they are. I'm talking about earlier in this half.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Oakland's, I don't have the stats in front of me. Their free throw stats. But they've been, I would say they shoot about 70% in the second half for the free throw line.
Darren Banks made his 2 free throws, and Solomon drawing the foul against
Referees was generous.
number 10, Israel Williams. 93-80, a minute 18. And the Hawks still have a lifeline in this one.
Not much of a lifeline, Jeff. The number 11th ranked Henry Ford College is going to probably suffer their first conference loss, and their record will fall to 11-4.
Another turnover by the Hawks.
They ran out of
93-81.
gas.
A little keep away by the Raiders. They really don't need to shoot it at this point.
No, they don't.
Shot clock at 13. Sell with the foul. And that will send Darren Banks to the line again. And Henry Ford looks like they're staring their first loss right in the face. .48 seconds remaining in the contest. Technical foul. And the official just ran a couple players out of the game. I think Autry, now he's just run the coach, it looks like, isn't it?
That's it. Yes.
.93-81. 48 seconds remaining, and at the free throw line shooting the technicals is Darren Banks for Oakland. One more technical.
Oakland will go to 6-3 and 3-1 in conference, which will give them a lead over Henry Ford, who will be 2-1 in conference. McCollum will still be the leader in the East at this point. They're 3-0 in the conference. So they will be the only undefeated team remaining in the eastern part of the Michigan Community College Athletic Association.
That was 3 techs right there. Yeah. Another technical foul. This one will go against Oakland and Omare.
The referee said, "You keep running your mouth."
Wow. So Oakland gets assessed the technical. That was Omare with the tech. Jonathan Omare getting called for it. And now shooting the foul free throws. Darren Banks.
He's had a good game today.
Yeah.
A true freshman from West Bloomfield High School.
98-82. Darren Banks has that's number, how many free throws? Number 6 right there. With the technicals and the foul shots. 99-82 your score. Solomon for 3, drawing nothing but iron.
Well, it's all over but the shouting now.
Henry Ford.
Oakland Raiders has came in and raided the Henry Ford Gymnasium.
And the Hawks are looking at their first conference loss right here. And this will make it pretty tight in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, it will be tight.
And as we look at it, Macomb still undefeated at the top. Henry Ford gets their first loss. Mott has 1 loss. And Oakland are now 3-1. So you have 3-1, 3-1, and 3-1. 3-1 with today's
victories. But Henry Ford will be 2-1.
3-1 in conference play.
Henry Ford will be 2-1.
So they'll drop.
Yeah, they'll drop.
Henry Ford, you're absolutely right. That will do it for you. That's the final score, 99-82. And your final thoughts?
Well, this was a tough game in a lot of ways. For coaches, when any reason your team is out 2 weeks in the middle of a season, it's tough. And then when you're missing 3 players, crucial players that play crucial minutes, that makes it even tougher. But you can see there was a little lethargy in this team when they came out. They didn't have that intensity, but you got to give them credit, though. Coach Shepard and his troops, the second half, they came out here and showed some heart and some guts, but they just ran out of gas.
Okay. Your final score again was 98-81. And for the Henry Ford Hawks Streaming Network, I'm Jeff Lowe, along with Leland Sign, and we'll catch you next time on Henry Ford College Hawks basketball.
Peace and blessings, everybody.
And happy Martin Luther King. Take care.